everyone, welcome to the very first Carousel Swoop. I'm JJ, and this is Eric.
Hello.
So Eric, a few months ago you came to me and said, hey, JJ, all the trade shows are getting canceled, and that's always been such a great opportunity to talk with our customers and recap the year and tell them what's happening. You said, how can we create that experience without having the trade shows?
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, we've done a ton of awesome work in the last year, and I'm probably actually a little bit concerned that our customers and our resellers are going, why in the world have I gotten this many emails from this company that keeps pumping out all this stuff? And I was even wondering, do people even see how all of those things are even connected, and why we did the things that we did in the last year? And I think there's actually some pretty awesome things that we've done, and I think there's an opportunity for us to show that there's a method to our madness and how all of these things fit together, right? Yep. And so I felt like, boy, if we could do something maybe a little different than we've ever done before, what an opportunity. So this
is going to be fun. So today we're going to talk about the features we've released this year, which is a whole ton. We're going to talk about what's coming up in the short term. But first, I wanted to talk about trends in digital signage, because I like to make sure that we're aiming in the right direction, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really one of the favorite parts of my job, to get out and talk with customers, to hear about what they would love to see, some of the pain that they're experiencing. Obviously, in the last 18 months, we've had all of the world kind of turned upside down, and so people are facing new challenges in the way that they communicate with their people. And so I had the opportunity to go out and connect with customers and hear what they're saying, connect with our resellers and other manufacturers, and just really think about what are the ways that we as Carousel can actually be helpful in organizations connecting and engaging their people. And so it's been really fun, and there's really three big areas of themes that I've seen that we'd love to share with you all today.
Let's talk about flexible facilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're seeing is, obviously, with just what's happened over the last 18 months, the need to really have a dynamic, flexible spaces, multi-use for things during the day or the evening, or even just being able to shift them on the fly, whether it's remote workforces coming into the office, or even in education, we're seeing lots of need for dynamic spaces.
So let's talk about, if we've got a dynamic space, a flexible space, and we're changing its use throughout the day, what about the content? How do you address the content that's on that signage system?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have multiple different groups with different target messaging, and so the ability to do things like we do in Carousel, having channel changing on schedules, things coming from different sources, and even whole different groups of people actually scheduling content for the system makes the space really connect with the people that are there at that time.
Got it. The other thing we talk about a lot is the kind of devices that we're using nowadays as media players versus what we used to use back in the day.
Yeah, and this has been a big change. We see in classrooms and conference rooms and other places this, whether it's education style changes or even how we meet and collaborate in conference rooms, we have these multi-use devices, which are great tools, because now we can share from our laptops or our tablets up to a screen. And if we're not using that for screen sharing, it's a great opportunity to be communicating with our people right on that big rectangle on the wall.
Yeah, I always talk about our mission to eliminate black rectangles, right? Every time I see a screen that has nothing on it in a conference room, I think, like, what a wasted opportunity to be promoting our brand, our core values, our mission, all that good stuff.
We've already made a big investment in the technology in these rooms in our facilities, and for just a little bit more investment, you can really leverage the tools, the multi-use facilities much better with those devices.
And even doing things like integrating calendars and other sources of information to get it out to the viewers.
Absolutely. For consuming that calendar content, even to basically this idea of hoteling, right? Where you can leverage an EMS system or other things where you can do scheduling in advance, and it's really powerful.
Yeah. The next trend we want to talk about is flexible work styles. So what we've been talking about, like an in-office or in-school experience, but the fact is that a lot of our work experience going forward is going to be much more flexible than it was before. It's not going to be a typical 9 to 5 in the cube area in our offices, right?
And this is an area where I'm really proud of our team, because you know, in the last 18 months, we've really looked at, we used to really focus on people in facilities. And obviously with remote workers and even students not being in school, I think we came up with some pretty clever ways of giving a set of tools to organizations to communicate with their teams regardless of where they were. And so that led to some really interesting things around how do we connect in a remote work environment or even in a remote school environment through tablets and through screensavers and these different ways of pushing out to even Slack and those types of things. And I think we've added a lot of tools for organizations to communicate with their people wherever they find them, and they can do it very dynamically, which is really important.
And you know, sort of like right in our own name, Carousel Digital Signage, comes a challenge for us when we go to this more distributed style. And what we have started talking a lot more about is like, you know, one of the endpoints for this communication is signage, which is screens on the walls. But what we're really much more about being a visual communication tool, right? Which means we want to reach people on their desktops, screensavers, tablets, phones, and all the different devices that they have access to.
We really look at being integral to the visual communication strategy for an organization. And so as organizations look to engage their employees, their students, making them feel more informed and connected on their campus or in their organization, the more tools that we can give them that they're already using and the places they already go for their information is really important. But also it's really important, and what we found is, especially in the last couple of years, there's so many different ways of delivering information, but signage, even on a tablet, actually will cut through the noise much more effectively than social media platforms or these other platforms where there's so much information coming at us. Being able to deliver really tailored messages to our people lends to people feeling much more connected and much more engaged because they get the information that they need. And that's really important to us.
And we've been doing a lot of work in you know, in manufacturing, right, with data dashboards and getting the manufacturing information and statistics out to the floor, making sure the workers in the break rooms and other facility feel really connected, and they're all informed, and they, you know, locally they know their data, right, their metrics, but then out in the common areas they know, you know, the mission and the values and the other HR kind of information that they need to see.
You're kind of hitting on, you know, Power BI has been really a powerful thing, because now organizations, they can actually really, quite frankly, pay for their signage investment just by the productivity increases, because their staff and their employees know how well they're doing almost instantaneously. It provides coaching opportunities for managers. So what's been really exciting in the midst of the challenges of the last 18 months, it's presented some awesome opportunities for us to really find ways to deliver value into organizations that I think are significant. They're not just putting a screen on the wall for the sake of art. While art is beautiful, there are also some really nice return on investment things that we're seeing in organizations, and so we're certainly going to talk much more about that today.
And then lastly, let's talk about flexible deployment, because rolling out a big signage system is really difficult. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of real detail work to do. And what we've always wanted to get to is this utopia that we call shrink wrap to signage.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that, you know, think about in the last 18 months, if I'm an IT director, the last thing that I would want to do is to figure out how in the world to manage more devices and roll out something and just deal with yet another thing from a security perspective, from managing updates and those types of things. And I think, as you've mentioned, the last couple years, last several years actually, we've really leaned into this understanding that the true cost of a deployment, I mentioned a little bit earlier, the cost of media players going down, but the true cost of a signage deployment is actually deploying and managing those devices. And so it's been really important to us as an organization to make sure that we are giving our customers the right set of tools to manage all of these devices. Make sure that they're getting the latest updates and that they're secure, and if we do something new, that we can get it out to them really, really quickly. From initial deployment to, you know, if you have to do 1,000 of anything, it takes time, right? And so a lot of our customers were concerned, do I have to hire new staff? Am I going to be distracted from the top 5 things that I actually have to do within this organization? And I think that's another thing that we're doing really well through, whether it's leveraging an Apple MDM or the tools that we provide with BrightSign and others, it's been really important to us to make sure that we're thinking about that whole deployment experience, not just initial deployment, but also how we manage those things over time. What information do we provide in Carousel? How well does our partner on the hardware side do in giving you the tools to manage your network? And so that's really
we'll get
important.
into all that media player stuff a little bit later and really show how we're doing that. So, so awesome, Mike. Now let's dive into how we're actually applying these trends. So I want to send it over to Jennifer, who heads up our product engineering team.
Every single person is important to what Carousel is. There's like, you can't really take one person out.
Hey guys, our goal at Carousel Signage has always been to create software that everyday people can use. Let's introduce you to a few features that will lighten your load and make your life a bit easier. First up, Power BI. Power BI is a data visualization tool from Microsoft. Hey John, can you walk us through how users can integrate Power BI with Carousel?
Carousel Cloud can now securely integrate with Power BI. This recently enhanced feature allows you to display bookmarks, dashboards, and specific pages of multi-page reports. Share reports with your team that help boost productivity and morale throughout your facility. Slack, web, interactive, YouTube. Our team was hard at work bringing you features like these to help keep your content dynamic. This means they update themselves. Incorporate videos from your YouTube channel as part of your signage content. Show an entire live web page through Carousel with web bulletins. Display interactive bulletins for things such as touchscreen kiosks. And use our push notification feature to allow visual messages in Carousel to be pushed to Slack.
Our EMS feature allows you to have important content displayed that's updated automatically. Pull data from EMS software to display the schedule of events that are happening in your conference rooms or facilities. The Channel Import-Export feature allows customers to easily import, export, or make duplicates of their channels to share in other locations. That means you can do it all on your own without waiting on us.
The easier that we can make that software for people to get in, create some content, and get the heck out, the more successful the deployment is, the more up-to-date the content is, and the more people are glad to hop into the software and work with it.
Let's dive into player features. Our batch player registration feature is a huge time saver. Typically, you'd have to register each player individually, which was a really time-consuming process. Now, once your players are all physically installed and configured for Carousel Cloud, you can use the batch registration feature to register them individually or in large batches securely, right from the web interface. The improved player sync feature allows you to sync your BrightSign players and display stunning synchronizations and vibrant video walls. Carousel's Power Save feature gives you the ability to be energy efficient by managing the displays connected to your Carousel Cloud media players. This means displays can now be turned off and on with this awesome new feature. Put it to good use and let your screens catch some Z's when no one's around to see them.
When the pandemic hit, people were suddenly no longer gathering in our target market of conference rooms, classrooms, and common areas. So as a team, we brainstormed ideas of how we could pivot and keep Carousel relevant in allowing our customers to communicate to their audience.
Born out of the pandemic, Express players can help bridge the gap between typical signage locations and non-traditional signage locations. With so many students, instructors, and business people working remotely, it was more important than ever for people to remain connected. Carousel Cloud customers using Express players can now easily communicate across their entire organization and not just in dedicated spots with fixed digital signage. Embed your Carousel Cloud channels directly into your web pages. Extend the reach of visual communication onto desktop computers with screensavers, and use tablets to share your content to multi-use devices. With an all-in-one display and interactive HTML content display, Carousel using iPad and other multi-use devices will help communicate with your audience on the go. Let's see what Eric has to say about multi-use devices.
We're big believers in the value of multi-use devices. If we can get our visual communications across campus or across our workspaces, leveraging the investment that we've already made within our conference rooms and our classrooms, I think it really is a powerful story. And even if you're considering a new investment, the ability to have a collaboration device hanging on the wall in a hallway or in another place that we gather really is a powerful story. So if you think about in the conference room, as we gather for a meeting, having the core values up on the wall, or even core value stories being reinforced, or the latest wins of the organization being celebrated, I think it's a great story. If you think about in a classroom, the ability to be able to screen share up to the front of the classroom, but when you're not screen sharing, having the lunch menu and yesterday's sports scores or the next activity that's happening at school really is a great way to keep your community engaged. And so as we continue to look at the opportunity for us to invest in new media player support, that was one of the things we really had in mind. LG WebOS offers the ability for an all-in-one package, a turnkey, where you can just hang that panel on the wall and present signage pretty much in no time. And so we believe that LG is a great solution. If you're looking for a multi-use device in a classroom, ScreenBeam's an excellent choice. The ability to share across Android devices, support for Windows, support for the Apple ecosystem within a classroom or even a conference room. ScreenBeam, again, excellent choice. The ability to screen share, and when you're not doing that, playing signage and really leveraging that screen on the wall. And then you look at macOS. We added macOS support, the ability to do interactive with HTML support, leveraging a Mac Mini as a media player. What a powerful media player option that is. And then we added Chrome Enterprise and also web app support, so the ability to publish signage right on your website. And that's in addition to all of the great media player support we already have. The Apple TV, the iPad, BrightSign media players, Mersive, and Zoom. And so we're really excited about all of the choices that you have across your environment. You can leverage the existing investment that you've made. If there's a media player that fits your solution, your needs better going forward, you can choose one of those as well. And again, across all of your devices, across your existing investment, your new investment, you have lots of choices and lots of support. And we're not done yet. And so what I want to do is turn it over to John as he shares a little bit about where we're headed for the future.
From day one, Carousel's belief is that for digital signage to be effective, it must remain fresh and also be relevant to your audience. Now, the best way to remain both fresh and relevant is by leveraging the information you already have within your organization. Now, Carousel already makes it incredibly easy for you to share this information with everyone. Using our beautiful template library and channel designs, anyone can quickly type in important information and send it throughout your entire community in an instant. Whether that's in your facilities, using our wide variety of media player support, or even to your remote audiences, using our website and Screensaver Express players. You can even connect to remote data sources like RSS and iCal feeds to automatically collect and distribute your key information to all of the same places. And as you've seen today, you can even integrate with several best-of-breed tools like Power BI, YouTube, and EMS. This is all in the service of keeping your signage fresh and highly relevant. But what if it could do more? To be as effective as possible, you need to distribute the most amount of information with the least amount of effort. And we think the key to this is understanding where your information lives. What are the tools that your organization already uses every day in order to communicate, to gain insight, to track progress, to capture ideas, and to teach and inspire? As we look toward the future here at Carousel, our intent is to explore and understand these tools that you already have in place, where your information already lives. The easier that we can make it to distribute this information throughout your community without needing to learn new tools or build new systems, the more successful you will be.
We provide customers with all of the tools that they need to successfully deploy really good looking digital signage across their organization. We make them look like rock stars.
At Carousel, we believe that the power of human connection is vital. Behind everything that we do is really trying to foster building community and connections with people so that they really have a sense of belonging. And the reason that that's important to us is because we believe if you belong, that you feel engaged within your community, that ultimately you're going to be more successful. And so that's really at the heart of Carousel. I know we talk so much about all of the technology and the fun things that we get to do with software and hardware and these cool features, but at the end of the day, what I hope our viewers leave with, our customers understand that really at the heart of it is human connection. And so we just love getting to be part of that.
So if we've done our jobs, we've aligned our core value of human connection with trends in digital signage and visual communication, and aligned our software's feature set to back all that up. So we are really excited about all of the stuff that we've done this year, proud of what we've done this year, excited about what's coming up next. We really appreciate everyone joining us for this event.
Thank you.
I think this was super fun. I think we should do it again.
It was a joy. Let's do it again.
We'll see you next time.